Hello, everyone, and good afternoon to you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Well, in this video, I want to take you through my thought process on what my expectations are on the USDJPY. Well, this is going to be a follow up video to my previous analysis on this pair, where we were able to take advantage of some bullish momentum during the course of last week trading session to close the week on a profit note. For those who would like to see how the trend went by during the course of last week, I will be dropping the link to that analysis, which includes the day-to-day commentaries on what we planned and how we executed those trades in the comment section of this video. So without further ado, let's dive into the chart and let's see what is going on in the market. Well, from the higher time frame and looking at it from an holistic point of view, we can see that price has been on a bullish momentum since the beginning of the year. And as a result of this, I was able to connect the series of higher lows here to give us that resultant bullish trend line. And as you can see here, price has continued to respect that bullish trend line since the beginning of the year. However, since the breakout of the 135 Japanese yen level in the month of August, we can see price is yet to come back to do a retest of structure as price continue to find higher highs from that area. So now with the current understanding we have here on the USDJPY, let's zoom into what has been happening in the last couple of months to have an holistic view of what is really going on at this point. Well, if we look at the structure here and look at what happened around the 145 Japanese yen level, we can see that throughout the course of the month of September, that area has been holding selling pressure for participants in this market, as every attempt by the buyers to push price right above that level during the month of September was met with strong resistance from the sellers. However, during the early days of the month of October, we saw a final breakout of that structure, which led into a situation where price continued to find higher highs and led into somewhere around the 152 Japanese yen level. And since price tested that structure, we had a situation where price came back to do multiple rejection of that key level at the 145 Japanese yen, which also lines up with our technical expectation, as whenever we cite a breakout of structure like this, we expect that price is likely going to come back to do a retest of structure in such a way that we will be having buying pressure around this area to push price to the upside. And this is exactly what happens though. And one thing we noticed during the course of last week is that you remember I told you we took advantage of some bullish momentum last week. But one thing interesting here is that we saw that the 149 Japanese yen level was holding selling pressure, as every attempt by the buyers to push price to the upside was met with a very strong resistance from the sellers. And if we look at what has been happening here in the last couple of weeks now, we can see we are at a very critical structure around this area, as I was able to identify something that looks like a pennant structure. As we can see, we had lower highs here. After connecting the series of lower highs, we saw the structure here to have that bearish trend line. And as well, we also have the connection of the higher lows here to give us that resultant bullish trend line. As you can see, price has been caught within a channel right above the 145 Japanese yen level. So this is more or less a very critical structure. So we really need to understand what is going on around this area to further make a decision on this pair. So in order to see things more clearly, let's scale down to a much lower time frame like the 4 hours time frame, and let's see what is really going on around this area. Now, when we scale down to the 4 hours time frame, we begin to see things more clearly. Hold on a second. Let me zoom out a little bit and let's see what we have here. So we can see here that we have somewhere around the 149 Japanese yen level, which has been holding selling pressure throughout the course of last week trading session to emphasize the strength of the sellers at this point. And coupled with the structure I was able to identify here, I will be advising that we want to remain patient here to see how market is going to play out, because the structure we have here is more or less telling us that participants in this market are caught within an indecision right now, as there is a tendency that they are waiting for a catalyst that will be driving price action in the coming week to finally make a decision in that regard. Well, if we look at the economic calendar, we also have a couple of events that is likely going to be affecting the USDJPY. And we have on Thursday and Friday, we have the Consumer Price Index on Thursday, and we also have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index on Friday. And these events are more or less a very good catalyst that will be driving price movement. So what do we want to be seeing on the charts as we head into the new week? Well, like I said earlier, we want to be very patient here to look out for signals that will be guiding our action. So what the first thing I want to be looking at is this. The first scenario I want to be looking at is this. If we cite a breakout of this structure, that is price breaks out of that structure, then we want to be seeing this as a bullish signal. But mind you, we don't want to get too excited at that point, as we want to wait for further confirmations to happen in the form of a retest of structure coming back to our lower time frame. Look out for buying pressure to join the rally to the upside. So that's the first scenario I want to be looking forward to. Then the second scenario is a possible breakdown of that structure in such a way that price drops down. If possible, break down the 145 Japanese yen level a little bit, and then we see a retest of structure followed by buy selling pressure right here on the lower time frame. Then we could join the decline. And if a breakdown of the 145 happens, retest of that structure is likely going to be giving us another opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. So this is what we are going to be looking forward to on the USDJPY for this week. So I would like to pause the video here, but be rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section of this video during the early hours of the week after monitoring how participants in this market will be relating to this current structure. Then I will be letting you know how I intend to trade the USDJPY. If this video has been of immense help in making your individual decision on the USDJPY, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You would also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally dish out in the comment section of every video. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye bye.